Hi everyone, this video is for presenting our new work, Inversion Circle Interpolation, Diffusion-based image augmentation for data-scarce classification. We all know that the data is very important for data-driven deep neural networks. However, the data-scarce scenarios are very common in the natural world. For some rare categories, we can only get a little images. Thus, data augmentation is a very straightforward and useful method, which can expand the original small training set into a larger one. With a larger training set, the classifier can be trained more robust and generalized. Data augmentation can expand the training set by generating some new images. How to evaluate these static images are good or not? There are two crucial cases. The first one is faithfulness, which indicates that the static samples need to retain the characteristics of the corresponding category. Another one is diversity, which indicates that the static images should have different contexts from the original training set and each other. Let's see how the faithfulness and diversity can influence the decision boundary in the classification task. If the static images are very faithful but too similar to the original training set, the decision boundary is not tight enough, leading to weak generalization. If only with the diversity, the null boundary will be inaccurate. In the best case, with both faithfulness and diversity, the decision boundary will be very accurate and general. From the previous two crucial cases, let's consider the current typical methods: intra-category data augmentation and inter-category data augmentation. For the intra-category data augmentation, as shown in this row, given a reference image, which is from the original training set, it will be add some noise to get a noisy image first. Then denoise it with a prompt, a photo of a bird. A is the category of this image. For this method, the faithfulness is good but not diverse enough. Then let's see the second row, the inter-category data augmentation. In order to increase the diversity, prompts containing other categories are used for denoising. However, a new problem was incorporated. This is how to determine the label of the static image, because the new image containing the semantics of both category A and category B, thus leading a weak faithfulness. In contrast, we propose an inversion interpolation method to get both diverse and faithful images. This is the pipeline of our method. First, given a few training samples of each category, we set some nullable text tokens and NORAs to learn the concept of this category, kind of like the textual inversion or dream boost techniques. Secondly, we use the null concept as a condition to calculate the DDM inversion for each image, and then conduct the random spherical interpolation to get a new initial latent, which is Z here. Finally, we introduce a two-stage denoising to denoise the initial latent. Specifically, in the first stage, we use a suffixed prompt, and in the second stage, we use a plain prompt. Here, we compare the spherical interpolation, or called the circle interpolation, with the conventional linear interpolation. As shown in the left figure, the interpolation results usually have different lengths with C1 and C2. However, if we use circle interpolation in the right figure, we can not only maintain the length of the interpolation result, but also can extend the small range interpolation into large range extrapolation, which can lead better diversity while keep a good faithfulness. For the two-stage denoising, we use MLLM and LLM to summarize the training set into a set of suffixes. And in the first stage, we use a prompt with some suffixes as the condition, and in the second stage, we degrade into the plain prompt, which means no suffixes. These operations can increase the diversity of the static images. For the experimental parts, we can achieve the state-of-the-art performance across few-shot classification, the long-tail classification, and out-of-distribution classification tasks. For the ablation study, as shown in the left table, each component we proposed are effective at calibrating the diversity or final classification accuracy. Here we use the LP-IPS scores between static images to reflect the diversity. We still ablate the split ratio as shown in the right figure, used in the two-stage denoising. As we can see that a larger split ratio can increase the diversity a lot while harm the faithfulness a little. The faithfulness is evaluated by clip scores. Here are some quantitative results. We can see during the exploration, we can get very diverse and faithful static images. Let's summarize our work. We analyzed current methods from two perspectives, the diversity and the faithfulness. Then we propose Diff-II, which contains the concept learning, inversion interpolation, and two-stage denoising methods. The experimental results show that our Diff-II can generate faithful and diverse images and bootstrap into a better classifier.